In this video, we're going to go through lower block science, diversity of animals. All right, and this is the lesson. So what are the body covering for mammals? All right, so you have hair or fur. So a lion is a mammal, and you can see all the fur around this. So all the body covering for mammals are fur. Yeah, you can see that the mammal is covered with fur or hair. What are the body covering for birds? All right, so birds are feathers. If you see a parrot, birds with feathers, you can see all these feathers of the parrot. All right, so that's what the body covering for birds. And the body covering for fish is scales. All right, so this is actually a device to remove scales before eating, and you can see the scales of the fish. These are all the individual scales of the fish. So you have to remove the fish scales before you eat the fish. Body covering for insects, you have hard outer covering, which is also called the exoskeleton. Alright, so exoskeleton is the hard outer covering, which is this black stuff over here. It's a beetle with a hard outer covering. Now, interestingly, as human beings, all right, so I'm going to draw a human being over here. We have inner skeleton. So this is our spine, and this is connects to our skull. All right, our skull, which we have bones over here, bones in our fingers, bones in our fingers. Now, our skeleton is actually inside our body. There's another name for it. It's called endoskeleton. Okay. So outside, so this hard outer covering is actually the skeleton of the insect. All right, and it's at the hard outer covering. It's called the exoskeleton, which means outside. So if it's inside, then it's called the endoskeleton. And this skeleton also gives the insects its shape, as you will learn in future science. All right, and that's basically, basically the interesting thing is how important the skeleton to you, how important the exoskeleton is to the insect. It does all the same functions. So let's talk about giving birth. So mammals, they give birth to live young. All right. So this is a wildebeest. It's actually giving birth to a live young. So you can see this is the young. All right. So this is the young of the wildebeest. It's coming out from behind. So this is alive when it comes out, as compared to, let's say, a chicken. So a chicken, when they are giving birth, they come out in eggs. All right, so that's chicken eggs. So it's not live young; it come out in eggs. And we have the picture over here. So birds give birth; they lay eggs. All right, and after they lay eggs, they have to sit on the eggs, keep them warm, otherwise the eggs will die. Chicken laying eggs. So what about fish? So fish give birth. Most of them lay eggs, and some of them give birth to live young. And they always lay a lot of eggs. So these are all the eggs. And why do they lay so many eggs? So that they can ensure that their species will SPECIES will continue to survive. All right, because if, let's say, I eat like half the eggs, there's still another half of the eggs that will survive. All right, so that's why they lay so many eggs. So what about insects? How do insects give birth? They also lay eggs. So this is a ladybug, and these are the eggs of the ladybug over here. Right, so insects also usually lay a lot of eggs. Likewise, is to ensure that their species will be able to survive, even if some eggs are eaten or some cannot hatch. So mammals will feed their young with what? They feed their young with milk. So you can see the giraffe, which is drinking the mother's milk. All right, so all the other mammals will also feed their young with milk. Humans, dogs, cats, other animals as well, other mammals as well. So what are some characteristics of birds? They have one beak, two wings, and two legs. So over here I have a large number of different types of birds, and you can see that they all have two legs over here, two legs, two legs, two legs, two legs, one beak over here, one beak, one beak, one beak, one beak, and two wings. All right, one wing, two wing, one wing, two wings, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So different types of birds. There are many different types of birds with the same parts, which is one beak, two wings, and two legs. What do most birds use their wings for? They use it for flying, you can see. So most of the birds can fly. Chicken can also fly, by the way. It can fly very, very low distance. If I have a chicken over here, it can actually fly maybe to the bottom of a tree, or top of a fence. Very low distance, but it can still fly very, very short distance. But penguins, all right, penguins use their wings to do what? They use their wings to actually swim in the water. So this is the penguin wings, all right, and they use it to swim in the water using their flippers, or also known as their wings. So penguin is a bird that really cannot fly at all. On land, it totally cannot fly. So that's how it is. And just to take note, penguins also have feathers because they are part of the bird family. They have feathers as their body covering. So how do ostrich move? They use their legs to run quickly on land. So if you look at this, ostrich have two long and very strong legs that they can run very fast. It's running away from the cheetah. I'm not sure who will win, but for sure ostrich can run very fast. Don't think they can fly as well. So some characteristics of fish: they have a tail, so this is their tail, and they have some kind of fins over here. All right, you don't have to learn the names of the fins, that's not important. They also breathe using gills. All right, so their gills are usually located at this part. So you need to remember they have tail, fins, and they breathe using gills. So fish breathe using gills. You can see these are gills, and they have a lot of blood over here. This blood is to help the gills. All right, it's all red over here, very red. There's a lot of blood there, and the blood is to help the gills absorb oxygen and to remove carbon dioxide into the water. So the water will actually go in from here, and they will come out under the gill covers, and this flow of water will the gills will help the fish to absorb oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So that's here. Gills help fish to take in air dissolved in water. So water flows in and water flows out. Water flows over the gills, then out. So it will absorb what? Absorb dissolved oxygen, and it will exhale carbon dioxide. Alright, so dissolve oxygen, and it will let go of the extra carbon dioxide that's created through respiration. Okay, so this is a question that sometimes appears. How do mudskippers survive outside water? So mudskippers are fishes. They breathe through gills. Alright, so they store seawater in gill chambers that keep their gills moist. So this is the thing that stores the seawater over here. Alright, you can see the swollen part. So this is actually seawater inside. And the gills are also inside, so they breathe using this, and after that, when it runs out of air, it will then go back into the water to take in more water, or to breathe in water again. So here are some characteristics of insects. They have 3 body parts: 1, 2, 3. 6 legs and 2 antennae. So the legs are all from these. I'm going to draw it out. There are 3 body parts. 2. If you cannot spell antenna, you can also use the word feelers. Alright, it's the same meaning. The legs are all from the middle part of the body, the thorax. Alright, the middle part have all 3 legs. A lot of MCQ questions will like to ask you, like, oh, is this correct, or should like maybe 2 pairs come from the back and 1 from the middle, or 1 from the head, something like that. Alright, so it's all wrong. All 3 pairs should be from the middle, like that. Alright, so that's how it works. So you have antenna, you have your... So the bottom is actually called the abdomen, middle is a thorax, and the top is the head. So head, thorax, so you have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So what are the names of the three body parts? You have the abdomen, abdomen is at the bottom, thorax in the middle, head is the top. Which body part of an insect are the legs found? Is the middle part, thorax. Very, very common MCQ question. So you have ladybug, dragonfly, and bees are examples of insects. So sharks, lionfish, clownfish, butterfly fish. Basically, you see all the fish, they're all examples of fishes. Alright, so you have your fins, your tail, your fins and your gills. You have your gills, your fins, your tail as well. You have your tail, you have your fins, and your gills over here. So these are all fishes. Owls, geese, ostrich are examples of birds. Alright, so look out for their two wings, their two legs. You have a beak over here. Likewise, you have a beak, you have the two wings, and you have two legs over here. So these are all birds, and they lay eggs. They have feathers as body covering. So you have sheep, koala, humans, monkeys are examples of mammals. So sheep, they have fur as their body covering. They give birth to live young. Koala as well, they have fur. If you have ever held a koala, it's very furry and very cute. And they move very slowly as well. Alright. So koala have fur. They give birth to live young as well. Alright. And they feed their young with milk. So these are some characteristics of mammals. But let's look at some characteristics of reptiles. They have scales. Alright, so all these are your scales of the reptiles. They lay eggs, so these are the eggs as well. Breathe through lungs. So if you look over here, you can actually see the lungs. Yeah, so these are the lungs over here. Alright, these are the lungs of a crocodile. And they breathe through lungs. Characteristics of amphibians. They have moist skin, alright. They lay eggs as well. They lay many eggs. They breathe through skin in water and breathe through lungs in air. So that's important. In water, they breathe through their moist skin. In air, they actually breathe through their lungs.